Hola amigos, we are now 1 week into our test of the Honda Accord Long-Term 2.0 Sport, which is not easy to say. I thought I'd quickly fill you in on 5 things I like about the Accord and 3 things I'm not so crazy about. So, in order, number 1, fuel economy. Fuel economy is really good. When I started off, I was doing about 9, now I brought it down to about 8.8, 8.7, actually right now if I look 8.9. That's because I'm using the power. But that's pretty good for 250 horsepower. Way better than the old V6. To give you a reference, I used to drive a Toyota Orion, which you'll see a picture of now. Great car. Quite thirsty if you use the power. This one isn't. So good job, Honda. Secondly, this steering wheel. I know it doesn't seem like something to crow about, but I really like it. It's really easy, very easy to use every day. It's nicely laid out, and the buttons are just, they fall to your thumb. So good. Somebody's thought about this. Thirdly, the powertrain is actually really easy to live with. I thought I'd miss that V6 noise, that sort of metallic howl, but actually, sound aside, this is a good motor. I mean, the fuel economy is, well, I've just talked about it, but it's very responsive. The 10-speed auto doesn't get confused. Occasionally it clunks a gear, but it's very, very rare. Most of the time, this is a good drivetrain combo. Probably the best that Honda is selling right now. Fourthly, Google Maps. I'm one of those people who occasionally pulls out their phone while driving. I know it's a bad habit, so I'm trying to stop it. But now that I have CarPlay, I don't have to do that anymore. Everything is on screen, and you have Google Maps. That's the one reason I would pull out my phone. Now I don't have to. The whole thing is on the screen. So now I'm kind of torn because the Honda system is quite good, but CarPlay is actually usable now. So, yeah, CarPlay. I'm a convert. And number 5, the looks. I actually like the way this car looks. Some people have been less than complimentary, but I think it looks pretty good. It looks like an expensive German car, and it's a lot of car. It's a huge Impala-sized car. So the Accord is basically the size of an old Acura Legend, to put it into perspective. Okay, if I love it so much, what could I possibly not like? Well, these are 3 more criticisms, concerns, things that Honda can do better. Let's start with the sound system. The sound system is just okay. Now keep in mind, there's nothing really exceptional in this class unless you go up to like an Acura or a Lexus or whatever. None of the cars in this sort of 130, 140 grand have a particularly good sound system. This isn't a bad system. It could be better. I think Honda could put some more speakers in here, could have a subwoofer. It gets loud, but it's not particularly lively. And the DTS option is pointless. Don't bother with DTS. It's terrible. Secondly, the ride. It is a little bit stiff. So I can feel every little bump in the road. I mean, it's sometimes really good. It's a bit difficult to describe. It's sometimes really good, and sometimes it's a little bouncy, it's a little firm. That's how they make it handle it so well. They made it a bit stiff. I just think this car could probably do with being a little bit softer. But then there is quite a bit of body roll in the corners. So maybe, I'm just guessing here, maybe it's got stiff springs and slightly softer shocks. So the stiff springs make for a good ride, but in the corners it can be a little wallowy sometimes. It doesn't matter, because this is not a sports car, it's an Accord. So overall, it's not bad. I just think it could be a little nicer to live with every day. Thirdly, these safety systems are driving me bananas. They've got that lane keep assist, which I don't like. I turn it off all the time. And it's also got the forward collision thing. Now, that's a good thing. Lots of cars have it. The Honda's one is a little too hyperactive. The way people drive out here, they jump in front of you and immediately just flashes brake, brake, brake. So I appreciate what Honda is trying to do. I think it's good. I just think they need to calibrate the system slightly better. Look at the way Mercedes ride. I mean, they have the same systems, but they're pretty unobtrusive. That also goes for the radar cruise control, which is borderline useless because it keeps such a massive gap that everybody just jumps into it. Again, it's a calibration issue more than a system issue. I think once they figure out the way we drive in the Middle East, which is, to be honestly, quite dickishly, they can improve things. But overall, it's a really, really tech-laden car. That's my takeaway after a week with it. There's so much technology, and it's not actually fighting with itself. Most technology seems pretty human, pretty well designed. It's a good car, probably the best in the segment. A lot of people have been asking me, how does it compare to the Camry? That isn't a fair comparison because I don't have the Camry with me to see. I do think the Camry is a good car. This is probably a slightly better car, but we're talking inches and millimeters, not miles and kilometers. It's also a GCC spec car. we're talking about so little difference between them. Both are good cars, you can't go wrong. If you want a V6, the Camry is good. It's got that V6 yowl. If you want a really, really good fuel economy car with more or less the same power, this is the one. So yeah, that's week 1 done. What will I find to talk about in week 2? Stay tuned. Let's find out.